you've got people that are trying to help, and it's always the toughest to try to get a job done when you don't have the resources to do that job. And when they asked me to do this, I didn't want to do this. I didn't want these guys to take their time out and try to be funny, which none of them were. But it's a situation to where I knew as soon as I left the Salvation Army that I had to do it. Because it wasn't too long ago, probably, I don't know, about 65 years ago, but I was one of those at-risk guys. I came from an at-risk family. The drug of choice was alcohol, and alcohol was one of those things that created a great deal of problems. And I know what it is to hurt in the belly because you don't have enough to eat. I know what it is to have a place that you sleep in, and the biggest thing that you do before you go to bed is try to kill all the roaches. I know what it is to come down at Christmas, and at Christmas the only thing there is the tree and something that was put under the tree for you that, quite frankly, you knew nothing about. You really didn't want it. It was just something that was there. I know what it is to have a parent that is so proud he won't take the food stamps in to buy the food for your family. And I can remember my dad taking me, and he gave me the food stamps, and he said, take this in there, and he gave me a list of food to get. I was embarrassed, but he was more embarrassed. To a certain extent, I was a guy that was at risk, but I was a guy that got a tremendous break. I was a guy that got a break because I had a guy that believed in me, and he was my high school coach. I had a guy that believed in me so strong that he went to bat for me. He went to war for me. He was a guy that stood tall for me even when I was a bonehead. And believe me, when I was young, I was dumb. But by the grace of God, He allows you to get a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and eventually you see the possibilities that are there. I was a guy that was at risk. I was a guy that they said wasn't smart enough. I was a guy that, if you look at all the negativity, I was that guy. But the thing that I know is this: those kids, they're no different than me. Those kids, with the proper help, the proper guidance, the proper funds, they'll be superstars. They will be superstars. And the thing of it is, we must help them be superstars, because that's what God wants us to do. He wants us to help those that can't help themselves. I truly, truly believe that each and every one of you, you're here tonight because you're that type of person. You care. You care. How many of you have been that guy that you pull up to an intersection and all of a sudden you look to your left and there's that person that's got that sign, and that sign says, "Will work for food"? How uneasy do you feel? How quick do you want that light to change? I've been there. I've been there. I've been that person. And then finally something hits you and you roll down your window and you stick a bill out. Whatever you got in your pocket. And then you move on and you forget. Well, the thing that the Salvation Army doesn't do, they don't forget. They do the job. And that's what it's all about. They are difference makers, but they need our help. They need our help. And I want you all, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. Believe me, I am not worthy of all of you being here to honor me. You honor those kids. That young lady that came up and sang. That young lady that came up with the poem. It was amazing. It was amazing to me. I just want to jump up and hug her. Because I could see within her. She fought demons. At that young age, she fought demons. And you don't get angry. You don't have that type of emotion unless you've had a bad time. And I promise you, she's had a bad time. But I promise you, that bad time is going to glad times because of the Salvation Army. So each and every one of you, each and every one of you out there, from the bottom of my heart, I do thank you. Jules, Cordy, all my children, my bad neighbor next door, an AD that doesn't even know what a football looks like, a president, he talked about football, but he wasn't quick enough or smart enough to get out of the way and he got to run over and broke his leg.